So you did mention you had a very tough loss. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I mentioned that I was disqualified in the Olympics running the 400 meters. What actually ended up happening is that the side of my foot touched the line, the inside side of the line. And at the time, there was a rule that if you have a touch on the line, you're automatically disqualified. Later, that rule was adjusted, but that's besides the point. I reached the finish line and I hadn't really realized or internalized what had taken place. And I got back to a slew of such positive messages, congratulatory messages about me competing in the Olympics. And I went back home after my race and I just cried. I cried for so long. I couldn't talk to my coaches. I just was isolating myself for a little bit and then snapped out of it and proceeded to continue as if it was the most incredible race of my life, or not race of my life, but most incredible experience, even though it really, really hurt. And for the longest time, I couldn't even Google 400 meters race Tokyo because I couldn't see that DQ next to my name.
Sorry to dive in a little bit more into this, but I know in track is definitely different. And when you said you got over it, it took you a while. How long did it take? Because usually in basketball for us, we play a game probably in the next week or so, and it gives us a chance to forget about the last loss. And I remember in 2011 when we lost in the championship game to China, in China by 1 point, it left such a sour taste, and it took me a while to get over it. How'd you heal? How'd you get over it? And did you have a lot of tough nights where you're waking up at night because of that reason?
I wouldn't say it was tough nights. It was more that when I was asked about the Olympics, I kind of diverted the conversation from anything that had to do with athletics to kind of the broader experience of being there, which on one hand is what the Olympics is about. It's a crazy environment where all the world's top athletes are in a singular place for a short amount of time. But also it was my way of kind of compartmentalizing, which it tends to be how I process things. But I think with time, I went back. So after the Olympics, I had 1 week at home, went back to school, to college, and restarted my indoor track season. And being able to race and do well slowly started to remind me like, okay, you're good. It actually was a fluke that you made this mistake. It took about a year for me to reopen that, like the results page, and be able to search for pictures from that race and to be able to rewatch that race. And it's not like it's something I never consider or think about right now in the lead up towards Paris. But I think I've come to terms with it. I speak more about it now with my close friends. And yeah.
Do you, and maybe it's too soon to ask, but do you at least now, are you able to find some sort of positive from it? Or is that still something that you struggle to deal with?
No, I definitely think there's a positive to it. For one, it made me appreciate being there more and kind of understand sports for more than a singular race. It also relit a fire that I don't know would still be there had everything went according to plan. And adversity makes things more interesting all the time. That's kind of how I like to look at things. It gives a story, and like when one looks back at it, or when I look back at the way my mind worked in 2021, 2020 about athletics and how it does now, there's been a shift in mindset that I think is in large due to how events played out.
Well, honestly, thank you for being so open and authentic about it.